Nikola Tesla and the High Society.
Part 2. Tesla telephoned Adams that afternoon and wrote Astor the following day. My dear Mr. Astor, Adams would be only too glad to have you with us.
We agreed that we would jointly provide from 5001000 shares of the parent company for yourself and Mr. Webb at the price of $95 a share of Apple value of $100 each. The parent company owns my patents
And rights in foreign and domestic markets, which I believe will profoundly affect the present state of the mechanical and electrical arts, and will create a greater revolution in their applications than my ideas on the transmission of power, which are at present generally adopted.
Christmas was drawing near, and with it the renewal of the
Serb's link to his adopted American family. The invitation from the Johnsons was wholeheartedly welcomed.
My dear Luca, Tesla wrote, I am, as you know, very fond of millionaires. But the inducements you offer are so great that I shall set them aside to partake in the splendid lunch which me,
Philipov, will prepare for Christmas. I am to be at home 3 to 7 Lexington Avenue with my friends, my dear friends the Johnsons.
If you will prepare a dinner for AHELF dozen and invite nobody, it will suit me. We shall talk of bliss at peace and be merry until then.
Tesla did his best to overlook the erotic tension emanating from Catherine as she directed the servants, with Agnes, to set the dinner table in Tesla talk shop with Robert and his son, Owen.
Catherine could never be part of the bond that existed between Tesla and Robert. Her heart ached for what it could not have, and yet, simultaneously, was filled with what it now possessed.
With Robert out of the room, Catherine was too intense. She claimed a telepathic link to the wizard. Her breast palpitated when he was near. Hormones gushed. On one occasion, she edged them to the line. He had no choice but to withdraw. On the last day of the year, Stanford dropped off a note. He wanted Tesla to hire a promising lad, the son of his friend Charlie Barney, a banker with ties to Whitney and Vanderbilt.
My dear Mr. White, Tesla wrote back, I heartily agree that the young fellow who has 2 awfully pretty sisters ought to be helped by all means. Unfortunately, Tesla continued, he still had the responsibility of carrying 3 superfluous workmen who were not really working because of the delay caused by the fire.
As the relationship with the Johnsons became more intimate, there may have been rivalries between them over which one had the greater access to him. Tesla wrote after the new year, My dear Luca, I am glad to know you shall love me, but I am much disappointed to learn that the boil has bothered you so much.
I doubt, however, that you are a hero, because heroes do not go to bed on account of aboil. Although Catherine had seen Tesla twice in December, it only served to ignite her passion even more. Torn between loving a professorial and delightful gentleman, who could count among his friends Mark Twain, John Moo, Rudyard Kipling, and Teddy Roosevelt, even if he did suffer from boils, and an exotic internationally known virtuoso whose singular talents promised to transform an entire world. Catherine wanted to feel herself in rapport with the wizard so that she could discuss their psychic link.
Dear Mr. Tesla, I have had such a wonderful experience the past 3 years. So much of it is already gone, that I sometimes fear it will all pass away with me, and you of 4 persons ought to know something of it, for you could not fail to have a scientific interest in it.
I call it thought transference for want of a better word. Perhaps it is not at all that. I have often wished and meant to speak to you of this, but when I am with you I never say the things I had intended to say. I seem to be only capable of one thing. Do come tomorrow.
Sincerely yours. Catherine H. Johnson. Stanford may have been able to leave his wife on Long Island while he courted young starlets at his bachelor pad at Gramercy Park or his private loft atop the Garden Tower. But dear Mr. Tesla was cut from different cloth. He would often dine with women and tantalize with his eyes, but that would have to be the extent of our relationship.
Apparently Tesla undertook a self-imposed vow of chastity, having been influenced in part by Swami Vivekananda, who preached chastity as the path to self-transformation and enlightenment.
Tesla met the Swami on February 13, 1896, at a dinner with Sarah Bernhardt after one of her performances in the play Heel.
As with the rest of the world, Tesla had first heard of the Swami during the summer of 1893, when the Hindu gained overnight prominence after speaking at the Congress of World Religions, which had been held at the Chicago World's Fair.
As Tesla had been in Chicago within a month of the talk, it is conceivable that he met or saw the Swami speak at that time. Vivekananda told a great electrician about Vedantic pRNA life force and AKSA, ether, which according to Tesla are the only theories modern science can entertain.
Having studied Madame Blavatsky's theosophical teachings, Tesla was already versed in the idea of AKSA and the Akashic records, which are, in essence, the records of all historical events existing in some vibratory state in this ether.
The Brahm, or universal mind, the Swami continued, produces AKSA and PINA. Tesla agreed with the essential premise of this Buddhist view, replying that the theory could be proved mathematically by demonstrating that force and matter are reducible to potential energy. And then the inventor invited Swami Vivekananda, some of his devotees, and Sarah Bernhardt to his laboratory for the following week to demonstrate through experiments this principle. After Tesla showed the Swami some of his creations, the Swami advised that pure creation, in the sense that something was born from nothing, was not possible. To Swami Vivekananda, creation was a process of combining existing elements into a new synthesis. This idea of the eternal nature of existence with no beginning and no ending was appealing to Tesla, and he later referred to this and related concepts in some of his writings. Today, this theory in cosmology refers to the steady-state theory of eternal creation, which would oppose the more generally accepted Big Bang theory, which hypothesizes a particular date for the beginning of time.
The reason that the Big Bang theory is the more generally accepted one is because the universe is expanding.
Working backward, it appears logical that all matter in the universe was together at one time in one location.
Current estimates place the Big Bang at about 15 billion years ago.
How Asta could be taken in by Keely was a mystery to Tesla, for the financier declined at this time to partake in the venture.
He had taken a month to consider the proposal, January 18, 1896.
Dear Mr. Tesla, your letter offering me some of your oscillator stock received. 95 seems rather a high price, for though the inventions covered by the stock will doubtless bring about great changes, they may not pay for some time as yet, and, of course, there are always a good many risks.
Wishing the oscillator as much success as I could if financially interested, and hoping soon to be able to use one myself, I remain,
Yours sincerely, John Jacob Astor. Although a rejection, the letter was not a complete denial.
It was going to take 1 or 2 more go-arounds to land this big fish. The oscillators, for Tesla, of course, were never ends in and of themselves. Tesla's goal was to send energy into the Earth and use it as a conduit to transmit messages and power. Details of the plan, however, was such a tightly held secret that even his workers were not completely confided in. Somewhat surreptitiously, Tesla took a train to Colorado Springs in late February 1896 to look over a prospective site for a new laboratory and also to conduct the kinds of wireless experiments he had wanted to undertake before his laboratory burned to the ground.
Tesla instructed a colleague, perhaps a local engineering professor, to transmit a musical song on an autoharp through Pikes Peak to his receiving equipment, which included another autoharp attuned to the first, 4 miles away, on the other side of the mountain. The experiment was a success. The song Ben Bold, played on one side of the mountain, was picked up by means of a resonant earth frequency on the other. Tesla, however, completely confounded the details of the instrumentation involved
by implying to the press that the energy utilized derived from the Earth and not from one of his oscillators. Tesla also succeeded in generating hyperbolic headlines as well.
Based on this false premise, page 1 of the March 8, 1896, Sunday magazine section of The World announced not only Tesla's historic wireless achievement, but also the supposed experimental verification that the Earth was imbued with free energy of essentially unlimited amounts. By tapping this reservoir, the future was clear. Electricity would be as free as air.
The end has come to telegraph, telephone companies, and other monopolies with a crash.
End of Nikola Tesla and High Society. Part 2. Thank you for watching.